the night that I was born in a yellow submarine. Bum, bum. Oh man, looks like a bunch of people are sad that they missed Kelly. They should be. She's great. Alright. Alright, well, don't be too sad though, because she'll be back. That's the thing about wives. Sometimes, typically. Hopefully. Alrighty. Doing it live. Alright, so it has been a wild day or two. My desk is covered in shit. I've got a lot of things that I've been working on, and a lot of things that I have been knocking out. So really kind of sunk in yesterday that it's just like, man, I have so much stuff, and I can do whatever I want with it. And I really am excited to, I guess, have unlocked that idea in my head, or that way of thinking in my head, even though it may already seem to those who do not know that that's where we're at. Excuse me, sir, your desk is a mess. It's so bad. But I kind of wanted to just keep it here to show where we're at with things. So yesterday I finished printing out the second floor pieces. Beep. Yeah, that way you can kind of see. I finished printing out the second floor pieces of the slums from 3D layered scenery. So there are the first two. Here are the other two. But I am absolutely in love with these prints. They look very, very good. The detail is very good. And again, like with my FDM printer, like each one of these was like, as far as FDM, like the filament, each one was like maybe $2 worth of filament. It's just time, and by like $2, I'm like kind of rounding up. But that really is the thing with 3D printing. It can save a lot of money. Now, it can, if you just go crazy and print everything, then that's obviously not going to save you money. But I guess the thing that I love the most about it is just how much it lets me get exactly what I want. So much of like my work and with like kit bashing and stuff, because I like to make something new so much. That's such a big part of it is originality. I love making new stuff that I've never seen before, and when out the get-go, when you're like stuck to using just pieces, you have to cut them apart a lot. That's a big part of my, or man, also I'm saying this, you can kind of see like my desk is just covered. This is not even like just Dremel, like that's not from Dremel, that's just a hobby knife. I do a lot of scraping, so I have all kinds of this stuff. Bits typically get cut up to really get the exact piece that I want, and then the rest of them go into a loose organizer. And I'm not ranting about like, oh, this is how I kit bash. It's just more of my desk looks really crazy, and I know it sounds crazy to be like, I have all of these little toys, but some of them I can't use for this one thing. And like that's, if you do not understand, or no, not understand, let me rephrase that. If you're not very familiar with tabletop gaming, tabletop wargaming, any kind of like gaming that involves lots of little toys, that's a big part of it. A big part of it is most companies want you to buy into their ecosystem. It's how business works, and it's a good model, because it's literally how Apple, DeWalt. When I say that, like those are ones that I have bought into, because if you find the ecosystem that is good for what you're wanting to do, and it's like, oh hey, instead of being one of the people that it's just like they're tailored to everything, it's like this company tailors to you. Now with DeWalt, Makita, those kinds of things, it's not that. It was more of a, I already had X tool, and I needed more batteries. And once you pick with that tools, it's very specific. I'm not trying to say what tools are better than other tools. There are way other, more people that are better qualified to argue that than I am. But I do know a lot about tools. And I do have a lot of DeWalt tools, just because at a certain point in time, like 3D printing, like Apple, anything that has an ecosystem that is set up to work together to make itself better, it's at a certain point in time it becomes like the bad choice to not buy into it. But that's a whole different thing, and I didn't understand that as much initially. And I guess when I started my career, my mentor taught me a lot of lessons that I didn't fully understand at the time, but now I kind of get them. And a big one that he was always afraid of was investing too heavily into one brand. And that I get now. At the time, it was dumb, because it was the only option, literally. The principle, though, is very much very valid, and I do understand that very completely, and I do very much appreciate those lessons. I just realized, no, man, these houses are really good. I really enjoyed this person's prints. I do not know what they prefer. But so, as we are ranting and rambling as we do, I figured I'd go ahead and pop these bad boys out and show you. So this is one of the ones that Kelly touched up yesterday. So all of the iconography, we have pretty much taken a route or two. And that is, I wanted to talk about that because I feel like I can definitely fall down into a bit and start ranting and raving without explaining exactly what I'm talking about. I might be doing it now, who knows, we'll see. But so with all of these, we took our Dremel, which this is a Dremel stylo. I've got two of them because I like them a lot, and I use them enough by myself that it's valid for me to have two, which means that if I invite somebody over to help me, if that works out. So we took a Dremel stylo to these, and obliterated like the statues, all of the little twin-tailed comets that are in the little alcoves in the corners. Pretty much I wanted to remove anything that ties this terrain, these pieces of plastic specifically, to one world set. But to further that, I kind of also wanted to ramble a little bit about lore-wise and why I would do this from a lore standpoint. Trench Crusade takes place in the massive expanse of no man's land. Now, I need to see a map still to fully grasp where in Europe and the rest of the world I want to consider no man's land for me, because I do very much like having a set, like, okay, I know I'm going to be in this place, so I know this is the kind of terrain, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to have there. And I really want to be able to cycle through with all of my terrain. I've thought more and more about that because I was initially talking about my plans and what I'm going to do, and it's everybody's favorite time, whiteboard, baby. Let's see, we got to find it, though. That's everyone else's favorite. Here it is. Okay. Man. Okay. I need to. These are things I already did, so I can erase those. I had to write myself, like, letters, notes. I'm just going to talk about what I'm going to do. They came out with a map at Adepticon. Fuck. Okay. Well, again, see, here's the thing, is I do like kind of like how I do things, because it's like, oh yeah, I'm kind of planning, and then like I'm just kind of in a bubble. But this is where the problem comes in, is like once you find out they've already got the map, and I could have been working on that, but that is okay. I am going to say what I did on here so I can keep you guys up to speed in the event that you're like, hey, I want to know if Eli's actually doing the shit that he says he's doing. So I've got a list of things I'm supposed to be doing. On the list, I've been reaching out to other artists on my mini factory and other places, which I was right. Bastarium, I thought it was one guy initially. It is like 8 people called it. There's no way, which that does make me feel very much, that makes me feel better about it, because I was like, if it's just like a couple people like throwing out stuff as fast as they can, it didn't give me that impression though. It gave me the impression that it was a small company, and that's what it is. So fuck yeah, dudes. I hit them up because those are clearly the kinds of people that I want to work with. Is people that do not change their values to cut corners. They stick to them no matter fucking what, and that's what I'm looking for. So I sent them some messages because I already messaged Westphalia, who made the red something, the Red Brigade maybe. I don't know, but they were another Trench Crusade third party like 3D print file maker on my mini factory, but they also had a Kickstarter. The wires are the ones that pointed me towards them. I'm gonna have to get a drink. My mouth is so dry. But yeah, so, and I had, my car had a recall, or two, from last year, like November, December. So I finally took that and got that done because time. And at the same time, I had my oil and stuff done because, again, I don't drive much. I don't leave my house much except to go to work, to go to places that I need to get stuff. Next up, I need to enter Smash Bash. Taryn, who I met at Adepticon, who is wonderful, lovely person. Taryn was very adamant that I should enter Frustration into Smash Bash. So that is on my list of things to do. Man, this is a great idea. If I say it on here, then I actually have people to hold me accountable. Shit. So yeah, I'm going to enter Frustration into Smash Bash. That is one of the things at the top of the list. Today's now Wednesday, my dude. Slap, slap, slap. That's not the same. I really like the little Chili's guy. When he comes out, he says, "Hi, welcome to Chili's." I have a lot of audio, man. Which all of you, any of you who have auditory, like sensory issues, count your fucking blessings, because I got your number, and I thought of something real funny, and I didn't do it because I was like, man, someone's gonna get upset if I do this. But for like a week when my basement was flooding. I just run, walking around down here in bare feet. So it's just me barefoot on the concrete in all this water, and I've just accepted it. I'm not even trying to not step in the streams now. I'm just like, fuck it, this is my life. And it's just my bare feet slapping on wet concrete. And it's just for a week. My whole body is just like, don't acknowledge it, don't acknowledge it, don't acknowledge it. And I know that there's someone out there that's just like, we get it, just make the OnlyFans and take my money. So that's the joke. But yeah, no, I need to email TurboDork to keep them in the loop, because I haven't yet, because I was trying to explain this to my wife. I need to get better about, oh hell yeah, slap, 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 slap. Yeah, you can hear it. Possum knows the sounds of wet feet slapping on the concrete. I was going to say something. Oh, yeah. No, I need to email TurboDork. I need to email Bree from TurboDork. And then I need to send a game plan to Alexander. And I'm covering that here because I try to fix things in every aspect of my life. I have really enjoyed. I'm an open person, so I'm just going to keep talking. And you all can, benefit from this if you want to, or just throw it away. But I definitely, the most important relationship obviously I have is the one with my wife, the person that lives in the house with me, my other half. I would be lost without her. It's not a us thing. It's a me thing, but it's an everybody thing. I know the biggest issue that I have seen literally fucking everywhere, at every job I've ever had, at every level of a company, is communication. And I'm not even going to say jobs. I mean fucking life. Everything, every problem is communication related. Like, just, we're all just a bunch of dumb monkeys just making noises at each other and hoping that the other one understands our intention the way that we mean for them to. And that's really frustrating at times, because it's just like, it's really frustrating, especially when you know you both are on the same page, but you don't have the right words to use them, which is a big problem with a lot of things. And that is honestly why I like to reappropriate words so much. There's so much of this is going to get into a little bit of philosophical world building, that kind of stuff. Sorry, it's 7:05. Let me cook, babies. Let's see. So essentially, the idea, talking about, it's not really open door policy, or not open door policy, but open door philosophy. It's not even that. It's just, I find that the lower I have my guard, the better I am to actually like stop and pause and think and like listen to what people are saying, which means that it's not just back and forth. Which, with that said, Westfalia is great. The resin models are awesome too. Yeah, I've never purchased any other models, but I did reach out to them because I saw that they were starting a tribe. So that's what the Bastarium and Westfalia, and another one that I was looking at is Realstone, because I am a big fan of Realstone. They make a lot of Dark Souls, or FromSoft. Like, I'll just say FromSoft because it's really any FromSoft game. They make a lot of FromSoft art, which, you know, after my heart, I love everything FromSoft. Which that was really another thing, is realizing yesterday, looking at all the stuff that I have and trying to piece together how all this can go. And I wanted to talk a little bit about design philosophy and design language, which I've ranted about elsewhere, because that is a very key part. Understanding how to make a conversion, how to make a piece, how to make anything look convincing or look good, how to do a good blank, like model, conversion, anything. It's all, in my very, biased opinion. This is just my opinion, but I do find a lot of, validity to it. You need to make it look real, convincing. Real/convincing. You need it to look like it exists in the space that you're telling us that it does. If it's, and I'm not saying that, it can't have its arm's too big. Some people have one arm that's too big. Like, that's a thing, but it needs to be, and this is where finding the words to explain how to take something, a concept. You want your concepts to be organic. Trying to explain a mode of thinking, but the more organic that you start to think and look at what you're making as a whole, that is when I think pieces start to fall in, at least for me. And that is both life, model making, art, whatever concept. My best stuff definitely comes when I let the animal hindbrain in, and I let pretty much the part of me that I try to keep locked down because it's like an animal, and I'm a person. I can think, and I don't run away from issues if I know I can solve them by stopping and fixing them with my brain. I'm waking up, and these are rants. I am going somewhere with these, I promise. The idea being that there's really just not a way to achieve you want it to look real, you want it to look like it fits naturally. Trying to explain how to think naturally and how to make things fit like that is almost, I don't know. I would say that it would have to be impossible, because it's literally not how our brains think. We're going to go into a little art theory here, but the golden rule ratio, the idea that essentially your eyes focus on certain spots. It's all triangular. Like, again, if you're really prone to being like, oh, I can't handle that. Yeah, don't look into math, don't look into science, don't look into trigonometry, because yeah, the world's fucking horrifying, to be blunt. The world is horrifying in how connected it is. Everything is a fucking triangle. Period. If you disagree with me, that's fine. The sun's also, God, and the world's flat. Those things are fine. And dinosaurs were never real. That's the one that makes me the most upset. But yeah, everything is a triangle. In the sense that you open up a fucking nautiloid shell and it's made up of triangles. It's a common reoccurring shape in the structure of our reality, period. It's why it repeats itself so much in nature without us looking for it. Like, nature has certain math, and it's the same thing that applies to guitar, and when I say that, my friend Sam, the EP, you can find it on Spotify, YouTube, wherever. I should put a link on there. Or I could send you one. I've got a box of, I don't know how many we didn't sell, because Sean and I are not salesmen. I've never been a salesman. I like to make what I make, and if you want it, you want it. But yeah, that whole EP, like most of I did not know how to play guitar at the time. Now, people would argue that I did, but really I was just making triangles. Which at the end of the day, if you're doing that, if you're making triangles on a guitar, you're playing guitar, you understand music for the most part, because again, everything is a triangle. But if you create a triangle because of how a guitar is, when I, during COVID, I fell in my really deep hole, and I really just wanted to learn how to play classical guitar. I wanted to actually understand music theory. So I spent a summer doing that really, really, really intensely, and took a class at Berkeley, a bunch of different things. But yeah, the reason that everything is a triangle is because the guitar is a matrixized version of a piano, essentially. If you take a piano, everything is piano. The guitar is a piano. It's just cut up in a really weird way, and you're able to manipulate the strings in a way that you could never do with a piano, and that it enables you to make music in a different way. That's what a guitar is. So essentially, a piano. I am a silly goofball. I had a whiteboard. So let's say, what was I doing with this whiteboard? I was talking about, piano. So, piano's got a bunch of keys. They all have notes on them. And essentially, a guitar, you take sections of it, and you're like, hey, this section is going to be on the biggest string, and that's going to be, an E. And then you essentially pick up, it's the 5th fret. That's where this next string that's a little bit smaller, that's where it starts on the guitar scale. Is technically, I'm not explaining this right. There's a lot of triangles. There's a lot of math here, because everything is, the 5th fret down is technically the same tonal note. On a guitar, the little bars, each one of those is a piece of metal. When you push your finger down onto that string, that piece of metal connects to that piece, or that string connects to that piece of metal on the neck. That piece of metal is called a fret, and that creates a smaller length of wire now between where that piece of metal is on the neck, that fret, and then the bridge. I'm gonna go get Dungeon Daddy, and I'll just show you on it. All right, everybody's favorite mistake. Dungeon Daddy. So, this is Dungeon Daddy. These are frets. On a fret, or on a guitar, these, when you push down on here, we are now taking the length of string And we're changing it from where it actually starts up here, where we tighten it. It goes from there down to here. That is the saddle. The saddle on a bridge, these are both technically saddles. This is a saddle on a bridge. This is a stop tail piece, which means that it ends here. It does not go through. I'm not going to show you the back of this. This has got stickers all over it. I'm not supposed to show the stickers on the back. So the frets, essentially when you push down on these, you are changing the length of the string. That changes the tone, which means that it's going to, at a different frequency when you pluck that. But 5 down, that's the same note. From here on the top string to the open string down. That I'm explaining this so you can understand that it is a matrix. And what that means is that when you put your guitar in a certain tuning, I keep mine in standard. So when you make a triangle, we have 5, 3, 7. That's actually like I'm playing like 5 down here and then down here. However, because it is a guitar and it's matricized to be broken up over here, now when you make a triangle, you're actually playing similar notes across different octaves. So it makes it have a fuller sound, but the reason that we're doing it in triangles, and it pretty much, because of the way that the guitar is matricized, it enables us to stay within a set mode almost. So we can just make, see, that didn't sound good, but those all did. Those are just triangles. Why that comes into play, I was trying to explain to my friend Sam that the first EP for Firm Teeth, I wrote it just making triangles and writing songs about dealing with myself. I'm almost, let me put this up. Okay. If all of that is very uninteresting, I'm very sorry. But I just thought, hey, maybe I'll share a little bit of musical math, and why that's important. All of this is important in the sense that if you understand that things are all triangles and that everything is kind of connected, it helps you understand how human brains work, and the fact that the reason that the golden rule is a thing is because our brains don't fucking do it. When we think like people, they don't do that. We don't like to think naturally. We think very blocky. We like things to be stacked in nice, orderly rows. A lot of evens. Even numbers are a thing that humans tend to kind of be drawn to because we like it. So yeah, you'll find yourself, if you're just like, oh, I'm building something, and you're not trying to tap into that animal hindbrain, you will find yourself naturally making things very... I'm having terrible connection issues. I'm sorry. Hopefully getting triangle pilled on a Wednesday morning. I'm so sorry that I am I'm hitting you guys real hard with the triangle theories. All of this was trying to explain how I make models, and I need to explain to you the guitar is a piano that's been broken up into a matrices of triangles, and that the golden rule is there because we just want to make towers. Brutalism, which I'm not sure, but I'm sure that's probably actually where some of the concepts of brutalism, which again, I promise it all touches. Don't make shapes, don't make blocks, don't make big square blocky shapes if you're trying to do things organically. Now, again, with that said, if you look at, say, character design, one of my all-time favorite character designs, which I'm sure people will have no problem believing. Who can get it first? Who knows who it is? Doop-a-doop-a-doop. And then but my Tower of Babel. He's got little baby hands. This is just a shitty little sketch. I think Golb has 6 eyes, but he might only have 4. Golb is one of my favorite designs from Adventure Time. He was definitely pivotal in the pose that the child inverted is in is a nod to Golb, because Adventure Time is one of my favorite shows. And I am a meta person. I enjoy digging in my space, my mental space, and finding things and trying to look at them from a different light to understand things differently. And honestly, I like doing it because I would like to help. If anyone else is going through it, I'd like them to be able to find what I'm doing or hear what I'm doing. That was a big part. Like whenever I was like, hey, I think I want to go to the doctor because I think, I'm going to try to care about my mental health. After my first boss died, after the first boss that died passed away, work related, I was like, fuck. That guy was only X amount of years older than me, and he fucking had a heart attack, died in his driveway on his way home because of work. He just worked himself to death. And I remember being like, man, I just turned 30. I just got married. I need to go to the doctor. I need to deal with shit that I had been putting off because I did not want to deal with it. And here's the thing, if you don't deal with this shit, then it still happens. Life still happens. It doesn't matter if you choose to accept it or not. So I went and I dealt with a lot of that. But there was a reason I was getting into this anxiety shit. The baby, the child inverted, self-reflection. That's what it was. Adventure Time is it's one of my favorite shows. It's one of the first things that my wife, one of the very first things we ever bonded over on our very first date. I had asked her to get some coffee because I was being very forward. I said, I'm going to be very forward. I think you're attractive and I would like to get some coffee. And she will argue and say that I said other things before this. It was small talk, and then I was just like, let's get some coffee. What I'm trying to say is, know thyself. Know thyself. Self-reflection is a very, very good thing. Thinking about why you do things, trying to understand who you are, I think is always beneficial, at least for me. And it helps me understand why I do things, not just in my life, but at my art table, at my black altar here. So, as I'm just ranting and raving about random shit, but I cannot stress enough, I am always excited that anybody wants to listen to me. While I'm ranting and raving about all of this, and I was talking about dealing with anxiety and dealing with the baby is a nod to Adventure Time. Yeah, on our first date, I was like, oh, hey, I like your Lumpy Space Princess lanyard. And she was like, oh, thanks. But yeah, I love Adventure Time. I love that it's a show that grows with you, in that it starts out very lighthearted, and you don't understand what kind of show it is when you start it. It's very meta. It's a very meta show. It's a very conceptual. I love it. I could talk about it all day and the things that it's made me feel. But the concept of Golb is so good, and the design of Golb I love because it's the designer really, and I already erased my little drawing, but it's essentially a giant baby with a very rhomboid, rhomboid, a very geometric shaped head, with just this horrifying face. And there's something about it that's so wrong. They just did such a good job, and it's just solid red. But yeah, if you just look up Golb, Golb, the last scholar of Golb, which is the Lich, which is my second favorite character in Adventure Time, as far as like concepts. Favorite character, that's either Jake or Bimo. They're both so good. Anywho, that's a long tangent about that. What I'm getting at is, once I untapped that idea that I have 2 giant fucking cabinets back here full of stuff. And I started to think about, oh man, but I can't do this, I can't do that because this is for that game, this is for that game. And I have made these prisons for myself. Nobody is forcing me to do this. I've bought games that I really liked the idea of, and I wanted to play them with my friends or my wife, or I thought that other people would be around to play with. And that's the thing, is that I could find them, but I know who I am, and I'm not going to go like searching for people to play that game. I know it's 7:25 on Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, the year of our Lord, the Metachrist. I know how much time is in a day. I know how much time I have left statistically. I mean, I don't know that, but I know it's just like I don't have hundreds of years. I don't. I really am aware of time, which is ironic given that I am not. If you ask my wife, I'm thinking about long run time and thinking about what do I actually think I will do before I die. And what do I think I'm going to enjoy doing? Like a lot of that is always like factored into my decisions, because life is fucking fleeting. That is my, if you're going to take anything away, everyone dies. Don't wait. Like, live, be alive. Do the things that you're like, I want to do this because I want to do it. Like, then do it. As long as no one gets hurt. Let me rephrase that. Like, be a good person. Like, I'm ranting on this because it is all connected of the concept of open door philosophy, the concept of trying to acknowledge what is going on around you, being present in your life as well as your hobby life, your art life. When you're making something, be present. That's what I'm getting at. And I have hit the point where I think I'm fully present with this project. And what that means is like being able to take a look at all the stuff that I've made, like this big cathedral that I was pretty excited about. It's not going to fit on here. Like, I'm going to have to zoom out on the camera, but to give you an idea of just the scale and the size, I started to work on this for Visterion, so now I'm going to be using that for my Trench Crusade board. I've just been thinking about what I want with what I'm doing here. And I absolutely am really, like, I'm beyond stoked that I have found a game that seems like it's made for me. I have always been a blasphemous little shit. So, like, the idea of taking Merkborg as a role-playing game and being like, yeah, like Warhammer, but Merkborg, it's just like, yeah, heaven and hell, very blasphemous. Like, everything about it is just very Trench. I love World War I history. I love blasphemous looking artwork. Mike, I don't know. I'm so excited. And like recognizing that like I have all of this stuff, and the only thing now holding me back is my own limitations and my own lack of wanting to put my creative efforts into like overhaul. This is one of the few things that I'm trying to figure out what the fuck to do with. The crashed Aquila lander that came with the Battle of McCraig box set, I have been trying to figure out. It's just such a distinct shape because of the wings. Other than covering big parts of the detail up, I've been struggling to figure out how to make that into very non-40K terrain just because of the wings. But honestly, I think I can probably figure out something, especially if we cut it up. But yeah, so pretty much we went through all of the Warcry stuff. We shaved off everything that was Age of Sigmar, paraphernalia. Then I went in and shaved off all of the Imperial Eagles and skulls from all of these barrels and all of these barricades. Just to give an idea of like the sheer level of terrain that we have here. And then I'm in the process of removing these eagles from crates. And then I'm going to probably go back into my ruins and look into those and my City of Death ones. So pretty much I'm just looking to see what cannot stay and what does like fit in with this vibe. And that's the whole rant. It's all connected, I promised. I was trying to talk to you all about design aesthetic. That's a whole fuel dump worth of barrels. Yeah, I've got a lot of terrain. I've been building up and working on so many different projects, all Warhammer related, all gaming related for so long. But I've not had like cohesion in thought. But now that I have fully just been like, yeah, I want to support Trench Crusade, I want to play in that space. I really want to just fully commit. Like, there's not anything I have that's off the table, including the Warhound Titan in the case, which I've been trying to think of. What could a Warhound look like? And I've not cured them, so I won't go into that. But I printed out my Hell Legion stuff last night. It is getting ready to go into the Easy Bake to cure, as well as a Shrine Anchorite and some other piece that I was like, I'm gonna print that out. I want to see what that looks like. The Shrine Anchorites, I'm very excited about, and they have a lot of potential. There's just so many things that I'm very excited about, and I'm really hoping, while talking to Alexander, I was just like, I'm just gonna be honest. I am really hoping to contribute to Trench Crusade in the way that I had hoped for Merkborg. When Merkborg was starting, I was messaging Johan a lot because of how in love I was with Merkborg. Exactly how I am right now with Merkborg, or with Trench Crusade. That's how I was with Merkborg, just foaming at the mouth. And I mean, now everybody fucking loves Merkborg. Everybody's trying to make their own version. Everyone make a little money off that Merkborg. But yeah, like at the time, like nobody, I had the Pork Rose hat, my little hat that just says Merkborg, and my buddy Sean was like, "Let's say Pork Rose," and I was like, "Yeah," because it's written in metal font. But yeah, no, I love Merkborg, and I'm so excited that it has taken off like it has. Like, I do want it to be the home. Like, I don't want people to play D&D. I want to play Merkborg, because in my opinion, I can't stress enough. The love of Merkborg, the love of Trench Crusade, the little blasphemous shit in me that loves the idea. I think Trench Crusade is looking into doing a similar licensing thing as Merkborg. So I was talking to Alexander, because I was like, I really want to contribute. Johan, I had talked to him about so many ideas that I had, and I'm still doing those. Like, this channel, I don't want to be like, oh, Eli's just Trench Crusade now. Like, no, I'm still doing like what I'm going to focus on games that I love. Like, not I think will make me money. I love Trench Crusade because it's trench warfare, and I fucking am obsessed with World War I and always have been. Anyone who knows me, like, they know this. Like, everyone who knows me is like a friend, a long-term friend. They're just like, oh my God, why didn't you like Trench Crusade whenever I was really upset about it? And now they're all just like, I'm so happy for you, because it's like, yeah, I'm a giddy little schoolgirl because I get to make nightmare fuel for World War One. And whereas like in Warhammer, it's just like, wow, your stuff goes a little too hard. It's just like Trench Crusade, they're like, yeah, baby, we like how hard it goes. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. I don't know. I just think, and it's again, that it comes down to intentions. Mike and Tomas and the the Trench Crusade team are wanting to make a good game. They are making art. They are making what they want to make. And you can feel that in the game, I think. I think in the art, you definitely can. Like, I love Mike's art. I've followed it for so long. And I'm just so fucking pumped to hopefully be able to contribute to that. One of the things that I made for Merkborg, and I'm going to make a model of it. I'm not going to talk about it because someone else will try to beat me to it. So you'll have to wait for that. But that'll be a while down the road. And it'll probably be made. I'll probably make it to where it can be played in both, because that's the wonderful thing about Trench Crusade, is that it is so... That's what I was going to get at, is with Trench Crusade and Merkborg, both of them, I want to be able to, like, use this, like, piece of terrain, this old fantasy shitty looking terrain. I want it to double if I want to use it for, like, Forbidden Psalm, for, like, Merkborg. Forbidden Psalm being the skirmish rule set based on Merkborg's rules. For those of you not in the know, Forbidden Psalm's dope. You play it on a 2x2 board. I'm a big fan of 2x2 boards. I'm a big fan of 2x2 boards. I have just accepted that I did make a 4x4 to play Adeptus Titanicus on, while being real pumped about looking at historical photos of Passchendaele. So that's what I based it off of. And then irony, Open Door Philosophy, BB. I've made a Trench Crusade board already, so that's done. I got a 4x4 mud board for Trench Crusade based on a World War I battlefield. Didn't mean to do it. Just kind of happened. So, yeah, the plan with that. I talked about my ideas with my boards. I've got my 4x4, so we got 4x4 mud. That is going to be my... Hey, we're going to play a whole bunch of Trench Crusade, and I want to have all the scatter terrain. And then I've got my tiles. And the tiles, 1x1 tiles, I've got like 16. I've got more of those. I want to say I have a 8-foot. I have a 4x8 board's worth of tiles, so I'll be able to switch them in and out. But that is a thing that I want to do, in that I think the 4x4 board needs to stay in my house because it's a 4x4 board and I don't want to move it. But as far as the board that I take with me to places, I think those are the ones that I want to build on tiles, because of storage and because of transportation reasons. And also, if I do them on tiles, I like the challenge. I'm really interested to see if I can make a 4x4 board that hides the grid to where it looks like it's non-modular, but it is. That's my goal with it. I really want to make a board that I can, like, switch things out, like, 1x1 sections, and I'll probably have some, like, 2x1 and 2x2 sections, bigger pieces, to fill in the 4x4. I thought about that before whenever I was looking at just Inquisimunda kind of stuff. And again, I'm just really excited to have a game that it's like, yep, this is the ground floor. This is the ground floor. They've already, told me what they are not about. And I can absolutely, I feel like I can take them on their word for it because of the company that they keep. I am friends with Alexander. Alexander would not work with people that did not mean the things that they told me that they were not about. And that is one of the... Actually, that's honestly, if I'm being honest, that's like the single most important thing to me at this point, is I am not going to... I've put a lot of time and a lot of my heart. Do you think you could do a modular underground bunker network? Like a bunker to mineshaft kind of deal? Oh, Possum, you're just trying to read my mind, aren't you? So yeah, with that said, I am going to be turning my Zone Mortalis board that I was working on for Horus Heresy, the 30K one. It's going to be a ZM Trench Crusade board, essentially, but it is going to be based on an underground bunker network, like a lab. I was like, I want to make that look like either a mine or almost like like the church's lab, like where they're doing like crazy like experiments or whatever, like an abandoned one. Because again, that's what I was getting to with why we filed all this off. It's not, because I fucking hate Games Workshop. It's not that. And it's not because, I hate Stormcast. I filed it off because it makes it to where you don't know what was there. But the most important thing, and this is what I wanted to get to, is design, design, language. When you understand design language and you understand what the artist, the concept designer, what a concept artist does is they put an idea out there for the person that will make a finalized model to take. Fear and Hunger 2. Okay. I mean, I'm down with that. That sounds good. I don't know what that is, but I like the sound of it. It sounds like something I'd like. Sounds a little grisly. But yeah, so I've got the bunker stuff. Oh no, I shaved those off. I shaved those off because it's no man's land, and that's just a key concept that I wanted to show with. In my previous rants, I don't ever want anything I do to ever. Let me rephrase that. I am a blasphemous little shit. I would never do anything to disrespect, like, anyone that fought in World War I, period. So if there's anything that I've ever done or that I ever say that, like, makes anybody think that, please correct me or mention that at the time, because World War I am fascinated by it. Yeah, now, like, yeah, the religious stuff, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna offend people with that all damn day long, and I'm fine with that because of my own personal reasons. But from, like, a respect level to World War I don't ever want to make anything that comes across disrespectful, because that it really is a setting and a time period that I love, and that's why I'm not really worried about that, because I don't even know how I would make anything disrespectful. I don't know how I would go about doing it, because again, it's just such an interesting time, and there are so many things in that time period. I know, talking to Gage, he did not have a lot of ideas about, making your own kind of stuff. But that is pretty much, like, I can't stop thinking about it. So, like, as soon as I get off this, I've got to find that map, so I can see what the world of Trench Crusade, like, the map actually looks like, so I can figure out the places that I really want to focus on. But given my utter love of World War I history, and my love of all things occult and nightmarish, I am so excited to just dump all of this. And I've been holding off on these because I didn't want to get you guys too excited. But I have so many heads and sets of teeth and things to just make this the single most upsetting, like, yep, that's fucking hell. Hell has opened up in 1914 Europe. Oh God. And I'm really, 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 really excited about it. It's, yeah, my first foray into all of this kind of stuff, into, like, grim, dark sci-fi, was Doom. As a child, my older cousin Eric, second cousin, he's my mom's cousin. So my second cousin Eric was a lot older than me, but he was like, "Hey, come play this. Hey, check this out. I got a game. I think you'll like it." And it was just Doom. And he was right. It fucked. Doom is so rad. But my cousin Eric passed away, unfortunately, when I was in high school. But I sent you an Instagram with some images from FNH too. Hell yeah, possum. Hell yeah. But my great uncle still has that old Doom cardboard box, and I was just like, whatever you do not throw that away. I want to put that on a shelf as a piece of art, because it's just like, it's literally, it's so wild. Like, again, just knowing people, like, I know my great uncle, like, or actually it was probably my cousin Eric, like my second cousin Eric, like, because he was so much like his dad. Like, I can absolutely see him coming home, taking that box, taking a knife, cutting open the plastic, not removing the plastic, That's a very thing that like my great uncle also is just he's that kind of guy. Very a very keep things like neat. So just like pulls it up, gets the game out, puts it back, and then proceeded to put the game in this like cabinet in their like computer cabinet. And that was 30 years ago. Like it's just been there since. And it's just interesting. It's just like I whenever I go to their house and we happen to be out there, I'm just like, that's good. I just like to know that it's there. It's just a part of like it's like a very foundational part of my like development. And again, I can distinctly remember like my great aunt being like, it was shortly after like, because this was before Columbine, so like shortly after Columbine, like my great aunt was just like, that game doesn't make you want to shoot people, and I was like, no, if anything, it makes me want to go to hell and kill demons. Like, if anything, if you're like, if you're playing Doom and you're like trying to take its message to heart, you are an evangelical demon hunter on Mars. Like that's really. I want to be the Doom guy that the world needs right now. Good morning, Whiskey Machine TV. I believe that would be my friend Tyler. Rip and tear until it's done. Yes, until it's done, buddy. Sometimes that's just what you got to do. I'm gonna take a big old swig of water now. I'm trying to like have something going on and like talk, but I'm just like, man, I'm waking up and I'm a yapper today. But I've pretty much just been going through all of my shit, trying to find what does and does not fit in the aesthetic. So the reason that I have as many fuel drums and ammo crates as I do is because I bought like 4 when I was really set on Necromunda and Horse Heresy. I bought 4 boxes of that Kill Team terrain that came with these guys. So this is the one, this and the Lander are the 2 that I'm like, I need to figure out something. Because it just seems a little too much like the Warhammer thing that it is, as opposed to generic industrial church stuff. But I can fix that. I can definitely fix that. And honestly, I'm saying that, and I'm just like, it's a fucking box. Like, beep beep. It's a box. I don't know why I said beep beep. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then all these little tractors and shit. So this would be all the little trains and whatnot for that same set. I am thinking that I should be able to cover a 4x4 with all of this stuff pretty easily. So I can get some games in and get some. I want to, before I start really making the scatter terrain, I definitely want it to have, it's all going to be painted, it's going to be textured, I want to make my board, my 4x4, I want to make both my boards, like all of my boards, everything that you all see, like, not going to be half-assed, like, I'm going full ass, like, I'm going to pretend like this is my job now, so, until it is, you hear me, boys, at Factory Fortress, hire me, I love you, we should be friends. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing a lot of world building. There's a lot of parts, specific parts in World War One that I'm just like, man, that's the scariest thing. But what if there were demons? That would just be so much scarier. The Argonne. I've been hoarding these trees, like these dead mums, these dead plants in my house for like a year now, and drying them out. And like, I want to be able to have a 4x4 Argonne board, like, which if you don't know, the Argonne is a forest. It's fucking huge, and it's lower on the list than Passchendaele, but for the Americans, the doughboys, that made it to the Argonne, it was like their Passchendaele. It was the scariest thing because it was just this insane forest that is just constantly shrouded in fog, and they just constantly get lost for just weeks at a time. It's just real scary, just real scary forest in the middle of World War I. So it's the Argonne. Argonne will get you. But yeah, so the Argonne is definitely one that I'm like, I'm gonna build some stuff there. Passchendaele, of course, because it's the scariest. And then that initially, the thing that I was just like, well, I mean, I kind of already know what I got to do. I got to be the change I want to see in the world. I think I need to make my ZM board a like Fort Vaux, like that. I guess whenever I started to think, and I was just like, man, well, what do the inside of those old forts look like? It's just like a lot of concrete, a lot of the texture that I've got on my ZM board. So it's just a matter of texturing, which I was already doing. And all of this culminates to, I was thinking about what I actually have and what I actually am playing and what I actually am doing, like legitimately. And while I love IPs, like Warhammer is an IP that I love. It's been part of my life for so long. It's just like, I don't know. And I'm not, burning the whole kingdom down. I'm not going to destroy anything that's like, yep, shouldn't have done that. But I am being realistic with myself, and it's just like, yeah, that these models that I've made that I've never finished, that have been sitting here for 10 years, it's just like, I could not touch that and like maybe paint it like a Black Templar one day. Or I could say, fuck that, because when am I ever going to play regular Warhammer again? And I could use those bits. I could use the work I've already done. I could use the story I've already developed, and I could put it into an IP that gives a shit about me as a person. That the creators do, at least. That's where I'm at. Because I've done too much world building and work for people that don't care about me as a person. That's where I'm at. And I just mean that. And in general, it's the same thing with like, yep, I feel like I'm not trying to be a grump, or not trying to be a grump. That sounds so not threatening. An ass. But it's just like the same thing with like my professional job. It's just like, yeah, I would like to help the world. But at the end of the day, I don't want to have kids. I don't give a shit. Like, if you've got kids, best of luck to you. Me, I want to go in a hole when I'm done. And whatever I have left after this, fuck it. I don't care. I'm dead. Like, I want to have a fun time while I'm here, and I want to be a good person, and I want to help other people have a fun time and be good people. But I don't need a lot of money, and I don't need a bunch of games that I don't think are made specifically with the intention of me having fun while I play them. That's where I'm at. And I'm not trying to just, give you guys the Kool-Aid of, it's time to switch sides. I have found something that is so my aesthetic in every sense. And I can't, the things that now really bothered me before, they become a lot more apparent, especially as the world descends further into just madness. And that's where I am at. It's not a knee-jerk reaction. It's not, I promise. It's much more of a sad, I don't want to. The issues that I've had with, IP, the IP that I've loved for so long, they've been hard. It's hard to like tell your wife, your significant other, like, hey, I want you to play this game with me, and you have to be a guy. No, girls can't be Space Marines. Sorry. Yeah, they gut you into like a literal like skeleton, just open meat, and then they put a bunch of fake organs and shit in you, but just because you don't have a dick, you don't get to be one. That's so dumb and so insane from a world building standpoint. And like the fact that the amount of times that they could have fixed that, I guess I'm still very upset about that. And I can't turn a blind eye to it simply because I have worked in a position where, yeah, I get asked those kinds of questions. I get asked the $1 million questions or the $1 billion questions. And I answer them, whether they were $10, $15 questions or $1 million questions, because it's just like the right answer is the right fucking answer, regardless of how much money it costs to do it. And that's where I'm at. I'm not trying to, these are my opinions. I'm not trying to, slander anybody. I'm just saying I feel like blank when this does blank. That's where I'm at. And I really wanted Trench Crusade to be something that I could love because of a lot of that. Just because it is all the boxes. So I know that whenever it became a thing, I definitely was very prone to being angry about certain things because, again, love World War One, love Mike's art, love Blasphemous shit. I don't want it to be something that I could have loved clearly being perverted for people that really like shit that I hate. And that was my fear. But after talking to them, that squashed that. And I could tell just based on the responses. So hopefully they don't think I'm an asshole for even just asking these things. But it is what it is. It's okay to have correct opinions. Thank you, Possum. Yeah. No, I'm still waking up, and I'm a little tired. I've been going at it for a little bit now, so we're almost at 8 o'clock. I might end the stream here in a minute. I just wanted to show you guys what I'm up to because I know I need to work on communicating what I'm doing better. But I also know that how my brain works and how I work and like with my art and stuff, like the demons, they just came out of me. Like I just opened up my mouth and the demons just came on out. Hail Satan. Like the more I don't think, the more I'm just letting my body and my brain just do what I naturally know how to do and tap into that like kind of flow. The faster things work, and it's hyperfixation. I'm hyperfixating, I'm hyperfocusing, so I'm able to do things a lot faster because it gives me dopamine, and my brain I'm able to think and process problem solving. Like my critical thinking skills go through the roof when I'm able to like really dial in. But that means I can't tell you what I'm doing because the moment that I get out of that, like I stop myself to be like, okay, what am I doing? You all see me struggle to like remember what I'm talking about mid-sentence. It's a very clear like, oh man, what did I do today? Like yesterday, I the amount of stuff that I did yesterday that like I just forgot. I just forgot about it halfway through. I was like, oh wait, yeah, no, we did finish all of the Warcry shit, like sanding off all the Warcry shit. I did all the barrels. Now I just have these crates. But on a positive note, I was looking. That's most of my terrain that has like really specific iconography on it, like IPs, because the other stuff is typically older and they didn't have as much. We need to make this ours because they were like one of the only companies making good shit. So they didn't feel the need to slap an eagle or a dumb symbol on everything where it wouldn't go. What I was getting at with I think, man, I don't remember if I did or didn't, but what I was getting at with the statues and why I ground them all up is because it's no man's land. And I really want to show that no man's land, and that's one of the concepts of why I think no man's land in World War I is so scary, is like, you can have a home front, like, but no man's land is like what it says on the tin. Like, it doesn't matter who is there. Like, it's a killing ground. It is a killing field. If you go there, you will die, like most likely. And the likelihood that you will be shot by one of your friends is extremely high because it's just like, yeah, don't go out there. That's no man's land. But I wanted to show that these buildings, no matter, who was this statue or whatever, this shrine, this saint, it's in the name, really. Yeah, it's just been desecrated over and over. I really want, and the rest of it is not as roughed up. Bear with me. But it all will come together. I'm going to be, so I was telling my wife, we are in the grinding phase. We're just grinding. Grinding literally with grinders, Dremel, which actually I started to use a knife. For those of you that are going to be joining me in this insane endeavor, a knife is faster than like the Dremel for your own. If you can get to it like a barrel, the barrel, it is so much faster to cut this off, to cut those like little eagles or those little skulls. That's another thing. They put on one side of the barrel there's an eagle, you know, the Aquila, and then the other side is just a skull. And it's just like, when have you ever seen a barrel in your life that a giant skull was fucking pressed into the metal? Do you know how insane that would be? Like how wasteful? And I get, actually no, I'm not going to try to be like, oh, well, it's because of the Adeptus Mechanicus. It's not. Anywho, so I think, yeah, I'm just pretty much just blaspheming all these things, cutting off symbols, trying to replace things with anything that does not fit or seem like it is in the same design language that Mike and James Sheriff are using. And I'll talk more about that. I got way too derailed and distracted talking about different aspects. But when I say design language, I mean using things consistently, using things consistently to where you have overall ideas and aesthetics clearly visible throughout a line of art, whether that's figures, whether that's, you know, 2D pieces, but that would be your design language, your concept language. Like a big key part of like mine is cholla wood. That is going to definitely blend into Trench Crusade. The cholla wood, like the black, pitch black wood bony growths coming up, that is something that I don't associate with Warhammer. I don't associate it with Trench Crusade. That's like a me thing. And I definitely want to have that coming in, which that's a whole nother level of meta, which I don't know how deep that's one where I have to like stop myself, because like Warhammer, it's just like, oh yeah, these are things that like I can't actually be, someone might fucking misunderstand. Whereas like Trench Crusade, it's like, yeah, part of me is like, hey, I could reach out to the Satanic Temple and see if I could become a non-profit, like my stream, if I could be backed by them, because I am literally doing what their goals are, which is trying to, you know, spread education as well as spread, you know, just good, with little intention of like personal gain. Pretty satanic, you know, and sexual core values. However, the issue with that is, and I would solely do that to simply play the system, like, so I didn't have to, you know, I would like to not pay taxes on X blank if I don't have to, because I'm doing God's work without believing in God. That's the thing, is it's fucked up that if I was like, oh yeah, I could get, you know, backed by an organization that actually gives a shit about human rights and equality, the fact that the game plays with ideas of heaven and hell, so many people are dumb enough that they will literally think that I believe the things that are in this game, and that's very frustrating. To know that it's just like, yeah, people could be so dumb that I could get my house burnt down or murdered because they think I am the Antichrist. You can't fix stupid. That's it, man. It's really frustrating. I've really been thinking about that a lot, that I'm just like, man, I hate that I live in the South where I do, and I have the interests that I do, but at the same time, it's probably very, very closely related. If I had to take a guess, I would say that at a young age, I was able to look around and be like, this is pretty fucking stupid. I'm not trying to dunk on anybody. I guess I'm just trying to say I'm still trying to figure out my stuff. I'm still trying to define exactly what I'm wanting to do, but I do have a very good idea. I do think what I want as unless, you know, any of these groups, which absolutely any of these groups that I've mentioned, like companies that are making the stuff that I want to make, I would love to work with them in a capacity, whether that's like freelance doing art or as a member of their team. I would love that. Until then, the idea is to keep doing what I'm doing, where I am going to be devoting my time into making a Trench Crusade that's like board that's so fucking dope that everybody who sees this will want to play this game. and will want to watch the videos that I make showing the game being played. I want to make this, when you see like videos and like stuff from like the Visterion board where like, oh man, those lights are crazy, you know, fog and shit. Yeah, I want to have my play space set up that it gives you a real theatrical vibe. I want you to understand like why I love these games and why like my whole life I've spent like imagining just these little stories. And I want to be able to do that with Trench Crusade. I want to be able to do that with Merkborg. And I'm still thinking about how I want to do that. I'm sure at some point I will have, you know, streams where I run Merkborg sessions with people. But at the end of the day, yeah, I still want to just show the games I love and how I do the things I do. And I do already have the Patreon. I need to like finalize it. Bringing the theater of the mind to life in front of people is a powerful thing. That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people don't understand like, oh, well, why would you like that? It's like, well, let me show you what I see. Like that's it. If I can show you what I see or just tell you what I'm like imagining, like when I talk to people, like showing them games, like, I mean, this is from like my entire life, like trying to show, you know, significant others, exes now, friends, anybody that's not interested in what I'm interested in. I'm like, oh man, I just got this new game. It's so fucking dope. Like, yeah, rolling a dice and being like, oh, it's a 4-up. That's fine. If you have a mind's eye and you can imagine what's happening with that 4-up, if you're in this play space together, it's not a 4-up. Like, you just watched a dude fucking just smash a Thunderhammer into like a Gene Stealer, plastering it all over the wall while your like Space Marines are trying desperately to get back to this like this safe space so they can fucking seal this door on the Space Hulk. I am not going to not play Space Hulk, period. That is something I'm probably still going to play. I don't know how much I'm going to be doing. And this that's where I was going. I was starting to get derailed. I want to continue telling the stories that I was telling with my friend Ed in 30K. And I cannot ignore the fact that it's just like, okay, I want to finish this story of Flesh and Blood, but here are all the factors. I don't have his entire army. So Ed's entire ghosts. His entire army is just not an option. Like, I don't. I think his wife still has it, if not his parents. But that's also a whole army of like painting, modeling. There's just so much work that's going to go into that. And pretty much what it comes down to is I can tell the same story. The IP, the characters are not the story. That is where I'm trying to go with this train of thought. The stories that he and I like collectively told over years of like goofing around and playing video games and that kind of stuff, board games, tabletop games, they were archetypes and characters, and I realize that now. They weren't just, you know, oh, a Space Marine or oh, an Inquisitor. It's just like those are concepts. And to be honest, literally everything that I think we wanted to tell in our stories would be told better in Trench Crusade. The Emperor's Children that I've made, there's a lot of stuff I can do with that. I do probably still intend to finish painting them at some point in time. But if I'm being honest, I was looking at the Cacophony models that I made that I really love, and it's going to be really hard not to just change them into something for Trench Crusade, because none of them are like, oh, that's a Space Marine, because I don't make that kind of stuff. There is like, you know, design stuff that definitely ties them to 40K, but I don't know. I'll think about it. I've got a lot of other stuff to do and to make, so they're on the list of stuff that's just going to be sitting in its case until I eventually get to it, like a bunch of Gundams that need paint. I have so much shit to do. Trench Crusade's what I'm all about right now, though, so I'm gonna be fucking with that. I'm just ranting. But yeah, I want to be able to show the things that I've ranted about here, and I'm gonna get to that. A lot of things I probably brought up, didn't cover, just went into something else. But I appreciate you guys getting on here and just listening to me rant and wake up, as always. Yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow. I'm getting back into the habit. I should be here 6:40. If I'm not, it's because I'll be here in just a couple minutes. If I'm going to be later than that, I'll put something on Instagram. I need to get in the habit really of like setting my schedule, like of, okay, I'm gonna be up, this is what I'm doing, because I don't want anybody waiting on me, because I'm just very thankful that you guys want to watch me anyway, or listen to me. But again, thank you guys so much. I'm going to get a bunch of stuff done today so I can show you guys some really cool shit tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for starting it with me, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm going to have to get an Instagram for the sole purpose. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I can send out a thing on here. I'll look into what I can do on YouTube. That's, again, like all the stuff that I'm like, man, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's just like, please don't take it as you keep saying you're gonna do that. I have to stop, like, I have to shut down the creative. So like if I stop to do like the account maintenance, the paper balancing, it's just like the factory flow stops. But yeah, so you guys get it. I don't know. I'm not trying to defend myself. You guys aren't angry at me. All right. Well, I love all of you. Sit pretty. Take care.